The story begins at a construction site, where an honest worker named Levon is seen leading a group of laborers. Several workers are sitting in front of him as Levon motivates them and assigns everyone their duties. Soon, everyone gets back to work, and Levon also starts doing his job. After some time, he goes inside the office. There we see Joe and Carla, the owners of the site. They belong to the Garcia family, and everyone knows them. Joe's daughter Jenny is also present. Jenny talks to her father and tells him that she has passed her first semester. She is very happy and wants to celebrate by throwing a big party for her friends, which would cost around $640. This is not a small amount. Joe tries to explain to her that spending so much money on a party does not make sense, but Jenny refuses to listen to him. Levon is sitting there and hears everything. In reality, Levon considers the Garcia family as his own family, and they also treat him like a family member. There are no secrets between them, and they openly talk in front of him. At the same time, Levon looks outside and notices a black car pulling up near the site. Some men step out of the car. Levon immediately understands that they are goons who have come to collect protection money. Seeing this, Joe agrees to give money for his daughter's safety. Levon then walks outside and sees that these men are beating one of his workers. Levon picks up a nearby bucket filled with iron nails and approaches them, telling them to stop beating his worker and leave immediately. The goons get angry and attack Levon. Levon then brutally takes them down one by one. The way he fights makes it clear that this is not new to him, as if this was once his profession. He overpowers all of them and finally points a gun at them. Terrified, the goons run away. The injured worker asks Levon who he really is, but Levon gives no answer. It is then revealed that Levon was once a British Royal Marine Commando, and one of the most dangerous ones. He left that life behind, and is now living a simple and quiet life. As Levon sits down to rest, Jenny comes to him and says that she saw everything. She tells him that only someone with special training could fight like that. Levon denies it and tells her to forget everything she saw. Jenny promises she will not tell anyone and mentions that she herself has learned self-defense and that her grandfather was also a warrior. Later, Jenny brings homemade food for the workers and personally gives it to Levon. She makes him promise that he will always protect her. Levon assures her that as long as he is alive, no one can harm her. After this, Levon goes to meet his daughter Mary. Levon is a single father, as his wife died a long time ago. However, Mary's custody is with her grandfather Wrath. Wrath constantly creates obstacles so that Levon cannot take his daughter with him. Wrath already knew that Levon was coming that day, so he intentionally arranged a party to prevent Levon from taking Mary. Despite this, Levon is determined to take his daughter. Mary also wants to go with her father. An argument breaks out between Wrath and Levon. In anger, Wrath tells Levon that he is a killer and that his daughter died because of him. The truth is revealed that Levon's wife had taken her own life, but Wrath believes Levon is responsible. Wrath thinks that anyone close to Levon eventually dies, whether in war or in family. Levon ignores these words and goes straight to Mary. Mary tells him she was waiting only for him and did not eat anything so they could eat together. Levon feels happy. He takes her out to a restaurant where they eat together. Levon gifts her a photo frame with a beautiful picture of Mary and her mother. Mary says she feels angry at her mother for leaving them alone. Levon gently explains that her mother is still with them, even if they cannot see her. Later, Levon drops Mary back and goes to a lawyer to fight for custody. The lawyer tells him that his case is getting weaker every day. Since Levon lives in his car and has no house, the court may never give him custody. Levon says he is saving money and will buy a house once Mary comes to live with him. The lawyer explains that Wrath is very rich and has influence everywhere. He has convinced the court that Levon suffers from PTSD and is mentally unstable after leaving the Marines. Still, Levon refuses to give up and asks the lawyer to continue trying. Meanwhile, Jenny is at the party with her friends, enjoying herself. A bartender notices her and secretly messages someone while keeping an eye on her. At the same time, Levon goes to look at a small house so he can stop living in his car. The house is in very poor condition, and Levon realizes how little money he actually has. Back at the party, two men named Viper and Artemis are watching Jenny closely. Their job is to kidnap attractive girls and sell them to rich clients. As Jenny comes out of the bathroom, they kidnap her and escape. 2 days pass. When Levon returns to work, he he is immediately called into the office. Joe and Carla look extremely worried. Joe tells Levon that Jenny has been missing for 2 days and that he believes she has been kidnapped. They contacted the police, but it became clear that the police would not seriously help. Joe gives Levon a large amount of money and says he is their last hope, knowing about Levon's past as a commando. Levon refuses the money and says he has left that life behind. Joe and Carla keep trying to convince him, but Levon walks away. Levon goes deep into the forest to a house where a blind man named Gunny Lefty lives. Gunny served in the same commando unit as Levon and lost his eyes during a mission. Levon tells him everything about Jenny and keeps repeating that he promised to protect her. After that, Levon leaves and goes to Joe's house. He sees the entire family in despair, with Joe locked in a room, crying while holding Jenny's photo. Levon assures Joe that Jenny is like his own daughter and that he will bring her back, no matter the cost. Levon knows that Jenny was last seen at a bar, so he goes there and carefully observes everyone. He notices the bartender selling drugs for small amounts of money and realizes he knows something. Levon waits outside until the bartender finishes work and follows him home. Once inside, Levon points a gun at him and asks about Jenny. The bartender denies knowing anything. Levon then uses a military torture technique in the bathroom, making the bartender feel like he is drowning. Unable to endure it, the bartender breaks down and warns Levon about powerful people involved. Before he can say more, 2 armed men suddenly enter the house and start shooting. Levon uses the bartender as a shield. The bartender dies first, and Levon kills the 2 attackers. He takes their money and leaves. Levon waits outside, knowing someone higher up will come. The next morning, a man named Olo, a Russian mafia member, arrives to inspect the scene. Olo realizes the killings were done by a professional. Later, Levon follows Olo to his house and breaks in after Olo hits his wife and she leaves. Levon knocks Olo unconscious and ties him to a chair placed over a swimming pool. Levon shows him Jenny's photo and asks where she is. Olo threatens him, but Levon cuts the rope. Olo falls into the pool and drowns. After Olo's death, his older brother Simon, who runs the entire organization, vows revenge. Levon now has only one lead left, Demi. He contacts an old friend in the Defense Intelligence Agency, who gives him the address of a bar. Levon goes there, where Artemis is watching everyone. Artemis suspects Levon and sends his man Doggy to him. Levon bribes Doggy to take him to the boss. Doggy takes him to Dutch, who refuses to meet him. Levon does not back down, and a fight breaks out. Levon begins killing the men one by one, breaking their bones with precision. Dutch stops him out of fear, because he notices the tattoo on Laven's hand. Dutch himself is a former army man, and he immediately understands that Laven is not an ordinary person. Dutch asks why he has come here and what he wants from him. Laven replies that he wants to do business with him. Dutch agrees and tells him to come back the next morning so they can have breakfast together and discuss business. Laven does exactly that. But when he arrives the next morning, Dutch is not there. Instead, only Doggy and Artemis are present. They ask Laven if he brought the money. Laven hands the money over. In return, they give him a small phone and tell him that all future instructions will come through this device. After that, Laven goes straight to his car and sits inside. At that moment, the small phone rings. It is Dutch calling. Dutch tells him that there is merchandise hidden under his seat and that he can make a lot of money by selling it. He also adds that if Laven wants to do bigger business, he should buy a good suit, because that evening he will introduce him to a very important person. Laven realizes that his plan is moving in the right direction. He takes all the drugs from under the seat and throws them into the water. Meanwhile, Viper is seen taking Jenny to one of his clients. This client is known for abusing innocent girls after drugging them unconscious. Jenny is forcefully pushed into the room. While Viper and the others stand guard outside, the client suddenly comes out in panic. His face is covered in blood because Jenny has bitten him. Angry and shocked, he says that the girl was supposed to be unconscious. The moment he opened the bag, she attacked him and bit his face. He then shouts and orders them to go inside and catch her. Hearing this, Viper and Artemis immediately rush back to grab Jenny. At the same time, Laven, now dressed in a proper suit, reaches Dutch. Dutch introduces him to his boss, Demi. This fulfills Laven's real objective, because his goal from the beginning was to reach Demi. Demi asks for Laven's ID card and also keeps a photograph of him. In return, They hand Laven a large amount of drugs. However, Laven takes all of it to the bathroom and flushes it down. He does not want to carry it with him at all. After that, Laven returns home and starts reviewing the photos he secretly took inside the bar. In those photos, he notices Viper repeatedly watching Jenny. Laven finds out that Viper frequents the same club where Dutch operates. So he goes back to that club to continue his surveillance and waits for Viper to arrive. However, Artemis is keeping an eye on everything. He notices Laven's presence and realizes that Laven is spying on them. Artemis warns all his men and orders them to kill Laven as quickly as possible. Laven senses the danger immediately. He grabs a motorcycle and escapes. The gang members chase him and fire continuously at him. After some time, Laven's bike crashes into a police vehicle and he falls to the ground. A female police officer arrives at the scene. It is revealed that she is also working with the gang. Soon, Simon's sons arrive, pay the officer, and she helps them beat Laven until he loses consciousness. They then load him into their van and drive away. As soon as Laven regains consciousness, he attacks Simon's sons with full force. They try repeatedly to restrain him, but they cannot control him. Laven starts killing them one by one. During the struggle, he shoots and kills both of Simon's sons. He also kills the driver, causing the van to crash again. Laven manages to crawl out and pushes the van into the water. By this point, Laven has already killed Simon's brother and both of his sons. When Simon later sees the dead bodies of his sons, he is completely shattered. He swears that he will not spare Laven at any cost and promises to give him such a brutal death that even his enemies will tremble at the thought of it. On the other side, Demi summons Viper and Artemis and angrily beats Viper. He shouts that the client whose face was bitten was their richest customer, and this should never have happened. He accuses them of failing at their job and orders them to kill the girl immediately. Meanwhile, Simon holds a secret meeting with the members of the High Table. Enraged, he tells them that one man has killed both his brother and his sons and has insulted their entire syndicate. One of the High Table members calms him and assures him that two of their most special operatives will handle the situation. He also reveals that the man responsible for all this destruction was doing business with Demi. If Demi is captured, all information about that man can be obtained. Simon then takes his men directly to Demi. Without saying a word, they brutally beat him. Simon tells Demi that the man he was doing business with is the same person who killed his father, and his name is Laven. A major revelation follows when it is revealed that Demi is Olo's son. Despite his father's death, Demi shows no emotion. Simon shows him Laven's photo, and Demi immediately recognizes him. He even hands over Laven's ID card photo to Simon. Simon then says that this same man will come after him, leaving only dead bodies wherever he goes. Now, the desire for revenge burns inside Simon, Demi, and the High Table. Using Laven's ID card, they uncover his true identity. They discover that Laven is not an ordinary man, but a highly dangerous Marine Force recon commando. They also learn about his father-in-law Roth and his daughter Mary. Without wasting any time, they attack Roth's house. At the same time, Laven receives a call from Mary's school informing him that no one has come to pick her up. Laven rushes there and tells Mary that something feels very wrong. He says that if Roth does not reach home, it means something has already happened to him. They both rush toward the house. Upon arrival, Laven sees the entire house engulfed in flames. Without hesitation, he enters the burning house and manages to pull Roth out alive. Outside, Roth breaks down and says that all of this is happening because of Laven and that they came looking for him. Mary, crying but standing firm, tells her grandfather that he is alive today only because of her father, otherwise he would have died inside the house. She tells him not to blame her father. Hearing this, Roth falls silent, filled with guilt and gratitude. Laven now fully understands that this fight is far from over. The situation is becoming more dangerous, and Mary's safety is the top priority. He takes Mary deep into the forest to his old friend Gunny. There, Laven clearly says that he is done holding back and that he will finish everything, leaving no trouble alive. Gunny sees the determination in Laven's eyes and knows he will not stop. He takes Laven to a secret room filled with advanced and deadly weapons. Laven selects several weapons and prepares for the final battle. Mary emotionally tells her father that she does not want to lose him. Laven pauses, puts his badge on her, and calmly tells her that he will be back very soon and that she should not be afraid. Mary hugs him tightly, and Laven leaves to end everything. Meanwhile, Viper and Artemis are taking Jenny to kill her. Suddenly, Jenny attacks them, causing their car to crash violently. Taking advantage of the chaos, she escapes. After running for a long time, she reaches a road and sees a police car. Relieved, she tells the police everything. The officers assure her and take her towards safety. However, Jenny soon realizes something is wrong. It turns out these officers are also working with the gang, and they take her back to Viper. Jenny understands that nowhere is safe, and there is no one left to trust. Viper and Artemis then throw Jenny into the water and are about to kill her when the same corrupt client calls again. He offers Viper $1 million to bring the girl back to him. Greed takes over Viper instantly, and he changes his plan. Once again, Jenny's life becomes a bargaining chip. At the same time, Laven reaches Demi's hideout. As soon as he enters, he starts killing the gang members one by one. More men keep coming, and Laven keeps eliminating them without stopping. Eventually, he reaches Demi. To save himself, Demi holds a gun to an innocent girl's head, hoping to stop Laven. Laven does not hesitate. He shoots Demi in the hand and tells the girl to take all the money there and start a new life. He then forces Demi to take him to Viper's location. They reach the secret hideout shortly after. Laven pulls Demi out of the car, and Demi realizes his end is near. Before killing him, Laven asks why they do such disgusting crimes. Demi coldly replies that if he does not do it, someone else will, and that evil will not stop just because he quits. Hearing this, Laven ends Demi's life. Laven then moves inside the hideout for the final battle. Meanwhile, the client arrives, and Jenny's hands are tied. He prepares various tools to torture her. Just as he reaches toward her, Laven storms into the room and kills all the gang members. He goes downstairs and opens a door to find the client standing there. Laven kills him instantly. At that moment, Viper opens fire on Laven, and a brutal fight begins between them. At the same time, Jenny attacks Artemis. Despite her hands being tied, she uses her legs to overpower him. After an intense struggle, Viper runs out of bullets, and Laven overpowers him. Jenny breaks Artemis's neck, killing him. After a long and violent fight, Laven finally kills Viper as well. He frees Jenny, and they attempt to escape. Unknown to them, the High Table has already sent 2 more assassins. A police car also arrives, but the assassins do not realize that the police are corrupt. They kill the officers instantly. Then they turn their guns on Laven. Laven quickly hides Jenny in a safe place. Using a high-tech weapon, he kills one attacker on the spot and throws a grenade at the second, killing him instantly. With nearly all enemies defeated, Laven safely gets Jenny out. They ride away together on a motorcycle. Simon watches everything from a distance and immediately informs the High Table. The High Table says that Laven is like a monster, but his purpose was clear. His fight was only against those who held the girl captive. Now that the girl is safe, he will not kill anyone else. His story ends here. Simon asks about revenge for his brother and sons. The High Table replies that his revenge is not their responsibility. He can seek it on his own, but they advise him to stop if he values his life, because the High Table will not support him. Enraged, Simon smashes the phone and screams in anger. Meanwhile, Laven takes Jenny home, where her family thanks him deeply. Laven then reunites with his daughter Mary, who returns from Gunny's house. Mary is overjoyed to see her father. In the end, they all sit together for lunch, and the story comes to an end.